Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Speed Report here on Twitch Monster 27 and 105 The Drive. I am, as usual, joined by the man and the 24-time champ, Fractured Chain, and our defending champion, Paintbrush. Thank you for joining us up here. As usual, you can catch everything KMR on the official website, www.thegamingriff.com. as well as YouTube channels KMR TV 105 The Drive, and our newest addition in Twitch to the Cup Series broadcast, Dunker Wiz, for all Cup Series action. And with that, all right, so let's get our speed report underway, guys, as the league ramps up. Very exciting stuff, and I'm just happy to bring it here. And we've got a new game or new segment that we're going to have today, so hope that you guys enjoyed that as we get started. Obviously the chat is up, so feel free to chat away, and let's, without further ado, get started with our X Series championship round. Will begin this weekend at RA Road America, so it should be a very fun race. Fracture Chain, Jaron Hazen Twitch channel will have the broadcast there, so let's get some feedback on that. The X Series Championship round. What's going to be the keys to this round? We know the round is 3 races. What's going to be the keys for these finalists in these 3 races?
Well, I've been known as a championship driver, but we got three races. You said Road America, Gateway, and Bristol for the championship?
Yes.
Well, I mean, all 3 of them are very unique. One of them's a road course, and 2 of them are short tracks. So you look immediately into it, and you're saying, well, the 2 Fords are the favorite. But I don't know about that. When we go to tracks, this is a very interesting round, and I've said it from the start. This is going to be interesting where this schedule falls. It could fall at Homestead and Talladega and Bristol, or it can fall at Road America, Gateway, and Bristol. We didn't really know, but then we figured out that it would be Road America, Gateway, and Bristol. So going into these 3 races, I think your biggest bet to do, you have to get in a lot of practice, especially if you're not very confident at these tracks, like myself. But you know, they're all unique tracks, and I guess that's why it makes it such an interesting final round. So we'll see who comes out in the victor. I think it'll be whoever is the most clutch by the end of the night. But you know, I think all 3 drivers have their certain strengths and their certain weaknesses. So we'll just see how. It's going to be tough to predict who's going to walk out as the champion right now. I can't pick one right now.
Paint, if you're gearing up for this thing, what's your keys? What are you looking to try to do to all 3 of these races to make sure you secure a championship?
Be the best, I guess, if you can. Like, have the best strategy of any driver. Be prepared for the worst and be prepared for the best. I mean, the best winning the championship and the worst losing it. You gotta just prepare yourself for what's there to come and just hold on, I guess, for these 3 races.
Definitely.
Come here.
Definitely.
Come here. You see that?
Technical difficulties! Now the game we're going to play now is Who Wants to Take $1 Million That Cookie definitely has. Fractured does. So I'll give you my PayPal after the race.
Yeah, no. Don't have a, don't have
you
that.
do. Yeah, you do.
Oh, boy,
you
no.
just do.
So,
Yeah.
if anyone in the league has any questions as to what happens whenever the rules are not followed, there you go. There you go. You hear it in the background. KMR does not play that. I'm playing. I'm not going to come to your house.
No comment.
I'm not coming to your house. Anyway, all right. So those are our keys, and we'll keep an eye on what they're going to be able to do and what we will see here. So much for a live stream, I tell you.
Just picks a great time.
Anyway, every time they work together in tandem. Anyway, X Series Championship round. Now, we talked about the keys to all 3 races. Let's individualize this now. What's going to be the keys to Road America coming in here? Fractured, you have a ton of experience at RA, and Yeah, not all of it great, but you have some experience there.
Yeah, thanks for putting that picture in my mind. But
Yeah.
I'll just take it from here. Road America on Forza, a game that took talent to run, was a very interesting tracks, and a lot of it was about hitting your marks. And on NASCAR Heat 4, it's even more important that you hit your marks. In a game that is very unforgiving, you hit the grass, oh, you're going for a ride. You hit the sand, oh, you're going for a ride. Hit the curb, you're spinning. It's a rough track to run on NASCAR Heat 4. So your biggest thing is you're going to have to get consistency down. You're not so much about speed, even though it's going to be very key, but consistency is going to be such a huge factor in how on who wins that race. I mean, there's obviously you can go into this and be like, oh, these guys are going to win or this guy's going to win. Well, I can't pick a winner right now simply because you go into Road America. It's a very unforgiving track, and if you have a late race restart, all of it's going to go just out the window. Whoever doesn't make a mistake is going to win the race.
We're joined here by our Cup Series broadcaster and analyst right now, Dunker. And Dunker, thanks for joining us up here with Fractured and Paint. Thank you very much. Dunk, I'm pretty sure you heard the question there. Your perspective on the keys to success at Road America. What are your thoughts on that for the X Series drivers?
Oh boy. I haven't raced there in a league before, but when I have raced there, it's pretty brutal. Like Fractured said, and if you go on the grass, you're done. I mean, you gotta just wheel it. It's like dirt racing and NASCAR mushed together in one race. But no, Road America's fun. It's challenging for sure. So, especially for these young guys, they'll be tested to the limits.
Paint, you're gearing up for a championship run. First Tracks
sir.
Road America. What's going to be the key to this track? What are you thinking about as you get ready to load up to run?
Don't crash. That would be number one on my list. Number two would be practice. Number three would be don't wreck anybody. Focus on yourself and just race your race, I guess. I mean, Road America and NASCAR Heat is a I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. Is not nice, I guess. If you hit the grass, you're dead. I mean, it's like any other road course in NASCAR Heat. It's very weird at times. You hit a rumble strip, you may flip. I don't know what to say, but I mean, if I was going in there, I would make sure that I have all of the strategy I can and all of the right moves to beat my competitors in order to win the championship.
Guys, in your opinion, is this race going to be a towards the end of the race breakaway, or will this be a race where we're going to have a white flag shootout? What do you think?
Well, just because going off of past experiences, I think last year we had a couple road courses in the Xfinity Series. Not a lot of cautions. Unless there's a lag out, which very well could happen, especially late in the race. I just really don't see the race having a caution. If they do, it'll just be one or maybe two. I don't know. That's a little generous. But if you if nobody lags out, I think we go green all the way, and it's just going to be whoever's the most consistent from start to finish. That's really how I think it's going to go. In order for a caution to happen, it's got to be 3 cars. So if 3 cars get involved, I mean, maybe on the first lap. The X Series is very well known for wrecking on the first lap. We'll come in about 4 laps into the race because I don't get my invite, and we're under caution already, and then we'll go green the rest of the way. But hey, it is what it is. So I'd say Road America, unless there's an early caution, I really don't see I just don't see a caution happening. It'll just come down to who's most consistent.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Fractured. You're most likely gonna have your casual red flag every race, but I mean, it's gonna be I think everybody's gonna get spread out to a point that there's gonna be no need for a caution.
Yeah, I can agree with Paint and Fractured. I mean, probably for the first maybe lap and a half, we may see them all bunched up. But I feel like a bunch of guys are gonna lose control and go off course, and by that point, the cars are kind of all spread out, and then it's just gonna be a run to the finish. So, that's just the way I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a nice calm race, probably from lap 2 on to the end.
All right. Well, something to look forward to. All my 10 viewers out there, thank you very much for tuning into the Speed Report tonight. And look forward to that on Twitch channel, Jaron Hazen, and on the YouTube side, KMR TV 105 The Drive, as the X Series begins championship round for race number 1 of that round, which will be Road America. Let's ask this quick question before we move on to our next segment. What's going to be the most important corner at Road America?
I wouldn't say this on Forza, but on NASCAR Heat 4, the old kink back there going down the straightaway, the last big straightaway before the front, the kink, especially on NASCAR Heat 4, you clip the curb too much, you're going around. If you don't take enough, if you don't hit the bottom enough, you're probably going into the outside barrier or the grass, so it's going to be a very challenging corner. Although it may look easy, it's going to be a very technical corner, and it's one that you can either gain a ton of speed or see your car hard in the barrier.
What was the question? Like, where's the right place to make a move?
Well, no, what's going to be the most important corner at Road America?
Probably the last. I mean, if there's two people battling for the win on the last lap, it's gonna come down to the last corner. Someone's gonna get mad. Someone's gonna win the race. I mean, someone's gonna get pushed off the track, and someone's gonna win the race. That'd probably be my spot at the track.
Dunker, what are your thoughts on that? What do you think the most important corner is going to be at Road America?
Probably the last one. Like Paintbrush said, if by a chance there is a battle for the lead and a battle for the win coming down, you got to hit that corner, but you got to hit all the corners on every lap to try and at least compete for the win. Because Road America it's a very technical track, like Fractured said, and you miss a corner, you could again just go head on into a barrier. We're in the grass, spin out, and lose a ton of position, lose a ton of ground, get frustrated, and you may never see back at the front. So honestly, I'd probably go the last corner, just because you gotta be precise and try and get the win.
Definitely. Let's see. Golden Dragon, we know that to be Terrier. Terrier said he thinks the 4th corner is going to be the most important corner at Road America. Now let me put that in my mind. 4th corner, 1,
very technical
2,
corner. It's
3,
very
the left.
Slow down.
Very
slow down.
Yeah, the gear down.
Yeah.
The gear down.
Overshoot
yeah, that's
that,
going to be
you're going
interesting.
far.
That's going to be interesting, but I tell you what, just to piggyback on what we talked about earlier about cautions, now that I'm remembering the track, Fractured, you mentioned that right-hander on the last straightaway where, that little kink. We might see more cautions there. If that's any, I know at least on Forza, you bank off that thing, that's a very fast corner, at least in Forza, it was fast corner. You hit the tire barrier or the wall on the left side, it'll kick you back out into the track. And if there are cars there, we could see some cautions in that spot.
Yeah,
that's definitely a caution zone.
That'll be a spot where on the initial start in any restarts, you're gonna be bracing for impact. I think the fans and the drivers.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so we said we have a new segment, and so the new segment is called "Taking It 3 Wide." And this is how this is going to work. We're going to have 3 separate drivers, and then there'll be a category here. Who's going to be the first to do something? What's going to happen? And so let's get it started. Here's how it's going to go. We're taking it 3 wide. Our 3 finalists, Hair Bear versus Amari versus Hindu. Who's getting the first win at Road America?
Amari. I feel like Amari's gonna get the win.
Sorry, I was having issues. What was the question?
The question was Hair Bear versus Amari versus Hindu. Who's getting the first win at Road America?
Well, it definitely won't be Hindu. I'd probably go Amari. I think it'll be Amari, Hair Bear, Hindu. Definitely won't be Hindu.
Yeah.
Wow.
I go Amari.
Okay, Omari wins that battle. We'll keep an eye and see who our winner is next. Taking it 3 wide. Woozy versus Josh versus Ice. Who will finish the season stronger?
I got Woozy.
Wizzy.
I'm gonna go Josh because of consistency.
Right. Okay, explain the Woozy part for me, guys. Just explain it real quick.
Oh no!
Okay. I don't know. He in Paint's race on Monday or earlier in the week, he was up at the front. I think if he plays a good strategy, he can be at the front. I mean, he's just got to be patient, consistent, but I have confidence in him.
All right, getting that car up front and keeping it up front will definitely be something that we hope he can do in that. So that is our new 3 wide segment for the X Series. We'll come back to the X Series right now. We're going to head to the Cup Series, the KMR Cup Series preview of Richmond, guys. What do you think? What is Richmond going to be like in this coming round?
How do I put this? A lot of cautions. A lot
Yeah,
of wrecks,
I'm seeing that big yellow flag.
a lot of dive bombs, and a lot of complaining.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely a slow race. Paint, what's your thoughts on that Richmond race? What are your expectations as far as Richmond?
I'm gonna lie, 'cause I don't wanna say the truth, but I'm gonna say it's gonna be a fast race. It's gonna be green flag runs and hopefully a non-Ford wins. So it helps out the Final Four to the best of their ability. Spice it up a little bit.
Oh boy, Dunker, you saw you were up there. You helped call that Richmond race, I believe, that the X Series had.
Yep.
Is it going to come anywhere close to that? Or which honestly, you also called the Bristol race, and Bristol wasn't that bad. And I mean, Richmond is a little more room. So I mean, what do you think we're going to see come Sunday?
Well, the X Series at Richmond was pretty good. There were some cautions here and there, but it was a pretty clean race. Bristol was, in my opinion, just all over the place. I'm seeing, I saw a lot of cautions but there was good battling though, and that's what I think we're going to see at Richmond. A lot of good battles throughout the race and throughout the field. But I'm definitely going to see that yellow flag more than I'm going to want to Sunday.
And talking about the track as well, can Richmond be a multi-groove track? Are we going to see some battling on the high side, especially in 3 and 4? Is there possible we see some overtakes from that high lane, or do you think by the end of the race it'll be a bottom-fed track?
There were a couple. I know there are a couple people that probably went into Michigan thinking it'd be a 1-lane track, and we did see both lanes running. I think if you run the middle lane right, you can make something work for a little bit up off the bottom. I think we're looking at a potentially 2-groove racetrack. We know the bottom's going to be there, but we'll see how it goes. I mean, Richmond's one of those tracks where it's kind of unknown. It's shaped like a big oval, it's shaped like Kansas, I should say, and except for it's just way smaller and a lot less banking. So Richmond's one of those tracks that might surprise you.
Yeah. What do you think, Paint? You've obviously ran at Richmond as well through several gens. Could we see the high side kind of come in, or are we going to see basically a bottom fed?
I'm gonna say it all depends on the type of race it is and what people are gonna do to make moves and how dangerous they're gonna get. I've seen in the past the high side work, but it all depends of what kind of racing it's going to be, or if we're going to need the high side. But I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't have that answer until we get going on Sunday in order to see what everybody's feeling, how everybody's driving.
Yeah. Hey, okay. Over under on the cautions, guys. Over under on the cautions. How many cautions you predicting coming?
Oh.
11.
Whew. Okay.
I'm gonna say.
How many did we have, Dunker? How many did we have at Bristol?
We had 8.
Okay, so Fracture saying over 8. We're going to 11. Paint, what do you think?
4.
4. So under, I would venture to say about 4 too, and I think 2 of the 4 will be red flags. Dunker, what do you think?
4 or 5.
4 or 5. Fractured 11? Really?
Well, this is around a 6, and after last week with the tempers definitely flaring and some people not being happy with each other, I think there will be some people set straight, and I think there will be some conflicts. So, I mean, I obviously don't have as much faith simply because, I run in the midfield a lot now, and yeah, I mean, sometimes it gets a little riled up, but we'll see how it all works out. I think in
Some rivalries
yeah.
got discussed at Richmond before.
Turn 3 and 4, 43, 20. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't talk about the other driver, but
We're not gonna go there, but
I think we could see one of them moments, though. I think it'll be the 20 on the inside and the 54 on the outside, and we'll just see how everything goes down out of turn 4.
Oh, Auto Club.
Yeah, Auto Club.
Auto Club.
Yeah, I will pump.
All right. Yeah, whatever.
I would never be paying for Auto Club.
I want to see that. Anyway, so Richmond should be a very, very good race. White flag shootout, or are we going, green? You think we'll be green with the last, say, 10 to go?
I think it'll be about 10 to go. Nah, I'll go about 5 to go. Never mind.
I'm gonna say 30 to go, no more caution. It's gonna be a green flag to the end.
Wow, 30 to go, no more call. A lot of confidence. So you're saying that literally everybody 10th and everybody that's below the top 10 is gonna lag out, and everybody else is gonna get so spaced out, and then we're gonna go 30. You're forgetting this is Heat 4, not Heat 3. If this was Heat 3, I'd be like, yeah, no cautions, we're going green the whole time. But good Lord, man. Heat 4 is not forgiving when it comes to that. What are you guys out there in the chat? Quite a few of you guys out there. We appreciate all 9 of you guys tuning in. What do you guys think about the over-under on the cautions? Are we going to have a lot of cautions? 7 was the max at Bristol. 11 is the over. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about the cautions out there? Ice, nice to see you out there on the broadcast. Wes, Terrier, what do you guys think about the cautions? I'm curious to see what your thoughts are with that. Ice says definitely 7. 7, I can see that.
Yeah.
It'll be KMR undercut 20. Okay, Speedy.
20.
Oh, is that what Slappy said?
A.K.A. No. Wes said that. He's filling in for Speedy,
Wes is
evidently.
Slappy.
20.
I think
Good Lord.
Slappy's just running under a cover-up account.
30 if
There
we're
you
lucky.
Oh, my goodness. 19.
There we
Terrier
go.
says 19. Remember that you race in the Cup Series, Terrier. So how many of the 19 are you going to be in? Never mind. Let's not answer that question.
Yeah,
How
we're not.
about we do this? How about we just okay, well, we got a few more things to talk about here. Let's flash forward to the 14 Nightfall. Not a good opening race. And we'll have to look to bounce back from what happened there at Michigan. So is is Nightfall the favorite here in Richmond? Because we know how good he is at the short tracks.
Negative. Nightfall this season has been very spotty, and I think we see it a little bit more every season. He's very spotty. He's really good on one track. He's not as good on another track. Richmond's a track where he is vulnerable, though. He's definitely shown signs of vulnerability. I think he's going to be top 3. Actually, I'm pretty sure I know he's going to be top 3. But the internet has crowded him the last 2 weeks, or the last couple, not last 2 weeks, but in the last month or so, the internet, he's getting that fractured chain connection, I'm not going to lie, but, I'm not sure if he wins Richmond or not. If if I'm him, knowing his skill set, I'd be eyeing up Road America. But that's just me.
Okay. Paint. Your partner over there at Ford. Is he the favorite coming into Richmond, or is there something that's going to hold him back? If it is, what do you think it'll be?
I don't know. Um, I don't know what they're doing, and or don't really care what they're doing. I'm focused on myself for the rest of the season and doing what I have to do to make myself to the Final Four and fight for my own championship. I mean, Nightfall's gonna be fast. Everybody knows Nightfall's gonna be fast, but anything can happen. We saw at Michigan that he lagged out, so maybe something will happen again. But I mean, it all depends, with everything going on in the world right now. Every like Xbox is like going crazy. Like people's Wi-Fi is going crazy. It's gonna be tough time to predict what's gonna happen. I guess going race by race is gonna know what's gonna go on for these upcoming races.
Yeah, I will agree with you on that. Dunker, what are your thoughts on the 14? And is he the favorite coming into Richmond?
No. I mean, he is good on the short tracks, but I feel like the internet is his worst enemy at the moment, and I think he's going to come into this race. If he has good internet, he's going to come in here and he's just going to try and push it. He's going to try and go to the front early, and I feel like it's not going to work the way that he wants to. So I would have to say he needs to eye on Road America.
Two questions here. First question, do you think that Bristol, because obviously we know that Nightfall was pretty good at Bristol. He did really well there. We've seen him do really well at Martinsville as well. So we know he has those short tracks down. But was Bristol an indication of maybe the weakness that he has in the short track area? Was this an indication that, hey, this guy's beatable at these short tracks? He's not the fastest anymore. Or was that just a isolated situation?
Nightfall?
Yeah.
He's definitely beatable, and I have hammered him on this since 2 seasons ago. But Bristol wasn't exactly just that he's slow or that he just wasn't the fastest. It was the fact that he blew the strategy. Nightfall just can't. He just can't get the strategy down. He struggles with it every time. And in order for him to win more than just 2 or 3 championships, he's going to have to nail some strategies. It just doesn't come that often. He struggles when it comes to the strategy part. So, I mean...
Late race execution is the difference. Yeah. Dunker, what do you think? You called that Bristol race. What did you see out of the 14, and could we see it again at Richmond?
I saw a dominating performance from Bristol. I mean, he was out in front. He pulled away at the first part of the race, and then the cautions came in, and then he just could not get back. He could not get back to the lead that he had before all the caution frenzy happened, and I think that hurt him. He didn't win the race because of that. I don't think he finished even in the top 3. And I think if he can get back to the front and stay at the front, he's got to get through restarts, and that definitely hurt him in the Bristol race.
There'll be a lot more room on the racetrack at Bristol or at Richmond compared to Bristol. So a little more room to do stuff, dodge wrecks or whatever. And potentially we'll see what the 14 brings to the table. Obviously, a week of preparation, we'll see what he can bring to the table. But here's my next question concerning this Richmond race is how important, or really the rest of the chase, how important are the non-chasers at this point? Obviously, they're battling for their next season. How important are the non-chasers when it comes to this Richmond race and how they affect the chase for these round of 6 guys?
Well, I'd say it's already pretty affected after last week in Michigan, but there's always there's no going into a week. There's no guarantee who's going to win. There's really no guarantee. You can have your speculations, blah blah blah, but there's no guarantee who's going to win. If I'm eyeing up any non-chaser to do amazing this weekend, it's Ghost. This is a track that he's done well at in the past for JP. But non-chasers, I think right now are being overlooked by the most of the chase drivers. I think, yeah, they're not fighting you, but they're fighting for something different. So they're going to be a little bit more aggressive, and that might get in the head of somebody somehow. Like, if somebody has a fast trigger, then they might not like it when other people who aren't really going for a championship are up there racing them. So, the non-chasers definitely have that factor and are a surprise in some aspect up at the front. I think they're, if you overlook them going into a week, they're going to come out and bite you, as we saw at Michigan last week.
Yeah, Paint. How much did that performance by non-chaser affect the rest of the chase?
Boiled it down to points, I guess. I mean, 3 winners, and then for say 3 chase winners, and then the final spots on points. I mean, that's basically what it's up to now. It's basically a points race at this point for the last spot.
Yeah, definitely. Dunker, you've been in a position of similar to this before in your career. You've won a championship. How much do you think that, or how much have you seen that the non-chasers have affected the chase, and what do you think they can do at Richmond?
Well, they can affect the chase a lot of ways. They can steal points from you, and they can steal wins that you desperately need to advance. But to me, I wouldn't let that, completely make me a nervous wreck on race day, because, we're all fighting for something. But I feel like the chasers, I think they're fighting for something a little bit more valuable than a spot next season. So I think they for the most part have more confidence. But those non-chasers shouldn't be overlooked ever, because they could have a better day than you, and you could have a better day than them. One race, they could have better 2 races than you. It all depends on how you approach each race. And so the non-chasers, they can definitely take wins and points away. So I watch them to be a factor.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so we've got 3 races remaining in the round for these drivers, or for this round of 6 heading into Championship 4, and the races are as follows: Richmond, of course, this Sunday, and then Kentucky, and then RA, Road America, to conclude. That will be the elimination race. So here's the question here. Of the remaining races, which one is most important now that this is a points race?
Well, here's where everything is going to be separated. Richmond and Kentucky are ovals. They are, anybody I think can really go out and win Richmond or Kentucky. But when you go to Road America, it's a whole different game. Like I said earlier, Road America's not very good. Well, NASCAR Heat 4 is not a very good game, and we see that on the road courses. And people who aren't consistent, there are a couple in the chase, people who aren't consistent are going to be very, very hammered by Road America, especially that being a transfer race. That's going to be one of those races where you don't know what's going to happen. So for the people that aren't, for the guys that are in the chase that aren't very consistent, Road America is going to be a lot for them. I think if they can get back to Rich, if you can build yourself a cushion in the points, you're good. Like, if I'm Lime or if I'm Dopey, I'm not really worried about what happens at in these next 4 races, or the next 3 races. I think I'm fairly safe. Obviously, you can't DNF. You have to get, really good finishes. But, Road America is just going to be one of them races where it's going to be consistency that will reward you. And some drivers, I think, that are in that chase right now are not very consistent, so to speak.
Hey.
I'm talking to you.
Talking about me.
Don't
be talking about me. No, I'm playing.
Oh.
Dunker, what do you think of these last couple races? Which one's most important if you're gearing up for this weekend and headed into the rest of this round?
I'd say all the races are important. especially if you can't get those, like Fractured said, consistent finishes. Road America is going to be you're going to circle out on your calendar that you don't want to go to have to try and race to transfer. You just want to. Most of the chasers, I'm going to bet, want to just go to Road America and finish that race, and move on to the next round. But for some chasers, Road America is going to be their only hope to transfer, and I think it's going to play. It's going to be really, really difficult for the guys that just aren't very good road course racers, or they can't finish good. So, in my opinion, it's all of the races, but especially these next two, because you want to build that cushion. So if something does happen at Road America, or you just don't run good, you still have the points to lean on to transfer to the next round. And if you know you're advanced, then you can just kind of finish the races, and you have a little bit of weight taken off your shoulders.
Paint. You looking forward to Road America?
Everything's great.
Questionable.
Questionable. So to make it a definite, what do you think you have to do? What are you, out of the eyes of a driver, what are you expecting these coming races as you prepare?
I'm not putting the racer face on. I'm gonna put the analyst race on. If you want to hear the
Shark
racer
mask
side,
on.
that is not appropriate right now for
Put
times.
the shark mask
But
on.
analyst, I feel like if you've been there as a racer and you're battling for a final spot, you gotta do what you gotta do. Instead of just not taking somebody out, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Send it.
You know, they don't call
Auto
the
Club.
They don't call the
Yeah,
bumper
what?
on for no need.
What?
Anyway, I had to get that out there.
Yeah,
Any
you
chance
did,
I
didn't you?
get. All right, let's take it 3 wide, guys. Zesty versus Dopey versus Amari. Who will win first?
Dopey.
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 Wow, Dopey over everybody. All right. Yeah, Dopey being a lot more consistent in this round than he has been ever, and is looking really, really good. All right, going back 3 wide. Hair Bear versus Slothy versus Wesley. Who will be the star in the qualifier?
Fractured.
Guess we went 4 wide.
I didn't say wrecking Fractured. I said 3 wide. Good lord. Anyway.
Beloved. No, I'm just kidding. Hair Bear. That's my Hair Bear's got my vote.
Slothy.
All right. Paint, you taking a stab at this one?
Don't
What was
poke the bear,
question?
Paint. Don't poke the bear.
Say what?
What was the question?
Hair Bear versus Slothy versus Wesley. Who will be the star in the qualifier?
Not Wesley, not Slothy. I'm gonna go with Hair Bear.
Hair Bear, star in the qualifier. All right. We'll see. And we'll see if they each of them end up having to run that dreaded qualifier. One more time, 3 wide. Beloved versus Terrier versus Pennzoil. Who will not have a ride at next season's 500?
Pennzoil.
It was lap 27. I'm gonna go.
Dunker, who you got?
Either Pennzoil or Beloved. I'll have to go Beloved.
Ooh, wow. I'm sorry, Paint. I cut you off. Who you got? Who'd you pick?
Oh, I was picking Pennzoil.
Pennzoil. 2 Pennzoils and a Beloved. Well, we'll definitely have to see. A lot hinges on what they do the remainder of the season. All right, well, guys, that's what we have on tap. Let's read some of our comments. And obviously, guys, we've got a minute or two. All of my 10 viewers out there, feel free to leave comments in the chat where we can kind of discuss, what's going on and kind of, any comments you have, any and everything. Oh, by the way, we can go ahead and announce this that if you enjoy the commentating of the race at the previous race for the Cup Series, well then look forward to more of that. Woozy will join Dunker in the booth, so we hope that you enjoy that. Woozy bringing energy to the broadcast and everything, and he had a lot of fun there. So
Yeah, it was a lot of
and
fun.
just remember,
Best
guys,
flavored
the
cheesecake.
the best flavored cheesecake.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Oreo. I had to say Oreo cheesecake. It's just
Regular. Wrong answer. Goes off on my turn.
oh man. Well, Woozy is the GOAT. Yes, he is. In
Okay,
his own way.
I'm just getting.
In
All right,
his
I just
own
got
way.
demoted without even saying anything.
Well, no. I
I'm kidding.
didn't say demoted. I just said he's a GOAT in his own way.
He is
See,
good.
he cleaned that up.
He is a good addition to the broadcast. I'm glad to have him in part of this. He might be taking over full time next season.
Maybe we'll have to see.
Mm-hmm.
We will have to see. Boy, it's been an awesome season, though. I mean, like, it has really been a great season
Oh,
for all three series.
A blind squirrel found a nut at Michigan.
You okay?
What?
A blind squirrel that hadn't won in like 3 seasons. You know.
Oh. I was about to say, I swear I didn't see that when I was racing, but okay. I hadn't visited the bushes lately, so I don't know what's going on.
You're a little out of the weather there.
I don't know what's going on, man. I think that bird family that built the nest on top of my car, it's done grew up and gone, you know.
Probably.
Yeah, I would hope. It's like every weekend they were pulling twigs out of the window net. So
I found something in the car. It was vibrating. Is that leftover stick from the bushes a couple races ago?
yeah. We got
God dang.
put a little extra water in the radiator because you got to water the plants growing out of it.
Or Slappy.
There you go.
His was every other track. Mine was Michigan. He was every other track.
I tell you what, you guys did the groundskeeping a favor at Michigan. You guys mowed the entire front stretch infield at least 4 times over. So
I didn't.
I'm sure you guys will get a paycheck bonus.
I didn't.
Or a big fine if we left too big a divot.
Well,
That's true. It's coming out of your paycheck.
Oh no. We're all gonna take a piece of that. I refuse to
There
be the
you go.
only one. Oh boy. Well, guys, we appreciate all you guys joining us. Let's go ahead and wrap this thing up, shall we? Let's go to the Who You Got section. As the X Series heads to RA. Road America. Paint. Pole winner, race winner.
Pole winner, Dopey, race winner, me.
In the X Series?
Oh, the X series. Talking about the Cup series.
he's in the basement.
Foreign.
Foreign sweeping?
Yes, sir.
Wow, that would be a huge blow to the chase and how that was spicing things up. Fractured pole winner, race winner.
Pole winner, foreign, race winner, Amari.
Amari getting the dub and pulling away in the points there. Dunker, pole winner, race winner.
Hairbear pulled, Amari win.
Okay, 2 Amaris and 1 foreign. I know he would love to get a win, his first win in either of the 2 series. as he struggled to get a win. Let's move on to the Cup Series to conclude things. Cup Series will be at Richmond under the lights. Pole winner, race winner, Dunker.
Pole, Nightfall, race, Lion.
Ooh, Dopey striking that first win and securing himself into the championship for Fractured. Pole winner, race winner.
Pole, JP, win, Ghost.
Oh wow, Ghost, JP. All right, that would be a good mix up, and that's totally feasible here coming to Richmond. They've had success in the past. Paint, pole winner, race winner.
Pole winner, Dopey, race winner, me.
Okay, being so biased, Paint expects to get that dub. Dopey getting the pole. We hope that those predictions come true. It should be interesting again. X Series at the Truck Series time, and you will receive a message if it is pushed back, but hopefully we'll be at the Truck Series time for all the viewers out there. Remember, that is 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go ahead and knock that race out, and then remember that for the Cup Series, guys, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the broadcast over on Dunker Wiz Twitch channel. We hope everyone has enjoyed this speed report, and this is KMR signing off.